It was a double feature in Cream City today as the Brewers welcomed in the good Bay Area team into town for back-to-back games, and 2 wins would go a long way to helping them in the wild card race. In the matinee, the star of the show was Corbin Burns, who returned to his Cy Young form. Burns went 8 innings with just 3 hits, and count up them Ks, 14 strikeouts. They had to flip the stat sheet over to count them all, and when you get good pitching like that, you don't need a whole lot of offense. Christian Yelich brings in a run, as does Hunter Renfroe, as the Brewers pick up the Game 1 win. Well, some Gatorade, a quick nap, and a couple hot dogs later, and everyone was back on the field for round 2. And hey, I've seen this one before. Hunter Renfroe goes back to work, bringing in runs. Then in the 6th, it's the big bat kid, and he's at it again. Garrett Mitchell making this major stuff look easy. He adds another as the sequel is almost as good as the original. The only downside in this one, Freddie Peralta did exit with shoulder fatigue in the 3rd. Not what you want to hear, especially after Eric Lauer left with elbow soreness yesterday. But with those 2 wins and a little help from the Marlins beating the Phillies tonight, in the blink of an eye, the Brewers have closed to within 2.5 games of the final wild card spot, and they've got a prime opportunity to gain even more ground with a 3-game series against a 55-80 Reds team that starts tomorrow. Well, football is officially back as the Buffalo Bills dismantled the defending Super Bowl champion Rams tonight, 31-10. Of course, both of those teams had high expectations coming into this season, as do the Packers, especially on defense. But as we've seen tonight, Week 1 is unlike any other. Last season, Green Bay allowed more than 30 points 3 times. One of those was Week 1 against the Saints, something we probably all want to forget. Another was their road loss at U.S. Bank Stadium when Kirk Cousins threw for 341 yards and 3 touchdowns. Now, a lot has changed in this offseason. Minnesota with a new coaching staff and new schemes, but the playmakers, well, they remain the same.
They present a lot of challenges. They got a lot of weapons. It starts all with Dalvin Cook. He's a great runner. He does a great job at hitting the holes, and they can get play action passes and get to Jefferson, get to Thielen and those guys are really good players. We got to make sure we stop the run and get them in 3rd and long and 2nd and long situations and get after the passer.
They drawing up something they never did before because they had a whole offseason to put out different things, and offenses develop in year 2 in their schemes, and they put this, they look at what hurt them last year or what hurt us.
Well, whatever those 2 concocted in their laboratories this offseason, we'll be talking all about it this Tuesday at 6:30 on the first episode of Pack Attack, which you know already you can watch right here on your official Packers station. Well, the Badgers are also deep into preparations for their 2nd game of the season, and what an intriguing matchup it is as they welcome the Pac-12's pride of Pullman, the Washington State Cougars, into Camp Randall. The Cougs bring a high-flying, up-tempo offense with them from the Palouse, led by quarterback Cameron Ward, who had 41 passing attempts in their Week 1 win over Idaho, completing 63% of those for 3 touchdowns. It's a potentially explosive offense that the Badgers know requires discipline and communication to stop.
We just know the ball's going to be out quick, so it's just about staying at it. It can be real easy to get lulled to sleep because you're not having time to rush the passer and stuff like that, but if you keep working.
It's not something our offense does a ton, so it's communication, it's a little bit of that conditioning, it's staying consistent with your technique even though things are moving fast.